2/3 of the people in California have always lived where there's 1/3 of the precipitation. 2/3 of the precipitation and snowmelt occur in two places along the Sierra Nevada mountains and north of Sacramento. So our grandfathers, my grandpa, your great-grandfathers, they came up with an idea. They called the federal project the Central Valley Project, and the state version came in later with a very good governor who happened to be Pat Brown. He sued the Sierra Club as Attorney General prior to that to get this approved. So the idea is, why don't we take the Sacramento tributaries along the Feather, along the Klamath, along the American, and bring dams and then channel that water to go south as it does. But when it gets to the Delta and it floods and these dams will prevent it from flooding, and it'll be measured. And then we will pump it out of the Delta into the aqueduct, and it will go down all down the western side of the San Joaquin Valley. And then what's left from farming, we'll put 5 million acres into production, and then we'll pump it into Los Angeles, which was running out of Colorado River water. And that was the idea. And they had a whole plan. About 20 years ago, people from the Bay Area largely, but the coastal corridor, decided that this little smelt in the bay was disappearing. And they said it was the canary in the mine for an ecological disaster, that the rivers were not flowing into the Delta and by extension the bay. So they said, we're going to stop all that water. And they went to court. They didn't get a plebiscite. And they stopped a lot of it. So they started to release 90% of the water that was in the Delta that was fresh. They didn't pump it into the aqueduct. So the people who were farming suddenly got 20%, even in a wet year, not the 100.